Touch is a nose boob to the palm of our hand. We can use this as a way to redirect our dog away from something, or simply just to get them warmed up, focused, and working with us.
Touch. Yes, good boy. Touch. Yes, touch. Yes, touch. Yes, good boy. Now, sit. No, sit. Yes, good boy. Down. Yes. Sit. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Down. Yes. Sit. Yes. Yes. Fritz. Yes. Down. Yes. Sit. Yes, good boy. Down. Yes, good boy. Nice job.
For recall, we are going to say, Fritz, come.
Yes.
And then as soon as he turns his head and looks at you, you're going to say yes, and then begin to praise. That yes, as soon as he looks at you, is really important. That lets him know he did the right thing by paying attention, and it's going to be what gets him moving towards you. So as soon as he looks, yes, praise him all the way to you, and then he gets a treat. You can practice this in the backyard that's fenced, or any other fenced area, the front yard on a long leash, or in a green space at a park on a long leash. This way you can practice in lots of scenarios and build up to any kind of emergency situation that could happen. Place means go there, lay there, and stay there until you're released. The release word is free, and that means he is then free to get up and do what he wants. You will point to the bed and say place. As soon as he gets on the bed, you will mark yes and reward him by placing a treat on the bed. Then you're going to walk around, add in some distraction, some distance, and then come back periodically and reward him by placing a treat on the bed. It is important that we place the treat on the bed so that he knows the food comes to him where he is on the bed and he doesn't try to get up and meet you for it. When you come back periodically to reward, you will place that treat on the bed, and you do not need to say anything other than yes and then deliver the treat to the bed. You do not need to repeat the cue place. The treat is just a good job, keep up doing what you're doing. And when you're ready to release him, you will say free. And you do not need to reward that release with a treat. The reward at that point is you are free to get up and move at your own will. If he gets up and you did not release him, you simply want to send him back, say place, pointing to the bed, wait for him to get on his bed, and then continue on. When you have to reset him like that, make sure that you don't reward right away. You want to send him back to his place, wait a little bit, make him work for it, walk around, add a little duration or distance, then come back and reward. This is really important so that you don't get stuck in a loop where he thinks he can get off the bed just to get sent back to get a treat. There are two main ways that you can work on place. One is via a formal training session, which is what you see here. This is where we are specifically setting aside training time to practice place while building in distance that you can walk away from him, distance that you can send him to his place, and then duration between the reinforcement, as well as adding in some distractions. So walking around, sitting down, opening cabinets, dropping items, walking past, stomping, walking all around him. You're building in his ability to hold his place no matter what happens. And so you're doing those distractions or that distance and then periodically rewarding. The other way to practice is through real life context. So think about context where you would like him to be on his place and you would like him to choose that, and then practice in those moments. For me, the most common one is dinner time. So this is something we do for every dinner time that we sit down at the table. You're going to bring the bed close to you. Make sure it's close enough to you that you're able to reward him right now. And then as he gets better, you can be able to move him farther away later on as he gets older and better at this behavior. So when you're doing this, you're actually not going to use the word place. And that is so that we don't kind of mess up or ruin our words place and free, because you're going to be multitasking, and that can be difficult for a lot of us, and we can sometimes mess it up where we're not kind of on top of our training because we're trying to do something else. So what you're going to do is you're just going to bring the bed over near you where you can toss him treats. If he gets on the bed, you're going to toss him a treat. You're going to start eating your dinner, and then periodically, if you notice that he's still there, you're going to continue to reward him often. If he gets up, you're not going to say anything because you didn't tell him he had to be there. He made the choice to kind of hop on the bed. You're not going to say anything, and you're just going to simply continue eating. If you see him go back to the bed, you're going to start rewarding again. And what he's going to learn is that if he chooses the bed in these times, he will get rewarded for that. This helps us build up longer durations of time while also doing it in a low stress way for us, so that there's not pressure that if he gets up, we've kind of messed up everything. We can just kind of continue on with what we're doing, and then when he goes back to his bed, start rewarding again. It also helps teach him that he can make choices and be rewarded for those choices. What we want ultimately is a dog that knows how to behave in situations that happen every day, like eating dinner. And he does know this. Because we did this every day, he knows that when the beds get laid out in the kitchen, that is his cue to go hang out on his bed because we're going to eat dinner. And as you can see, Fritz does a wonderful job of staying on his bed throughout the majority of dinner. Sometimes he'll get up once or twice if food drops under the table or if he wants to go get water. But otherwise, he has done a really great job of staying for the entirety of dinner on his bed. So if you are consistent in contexts like dinner, what you will see is a dog that automatically begins doing the behavior you want without being asked, which is the ultimate goal in a lot of these daily training tasks. And lastly, another great way to practice in kind of a formal training session type way is by just practicing solely on distractions. So one way I love to do this is by having my son play Simon Says with me, where I have him run, jump, crawl, roll on the ground, do all kinds of crazy kid things, running around him while I am periodically rewarding Fritz for staying. This helps continue to just build that no matter what's happening, if I've asked you to place, that you can do that and he can stay put, while also even doing things like watching kids be crazy. And if you said place, remember to say free to release him. Wait means stop and don't go any further. So when we say wait, we are drawing an imaginary line and telling them they cannot go further. They can be in any position though. They can be sitting, standing, laying down, walking around, as long as they do not cross the line. This is a great behavior to practice around stairs so that you don't have a dog that trips you going up and down stairs. It's also really great for front doors so that we don't have a dog that dashes outdoors. So you're going to say wait, move past that line, whatever it is you're trying to do. And then you're going to reward him for staying or release him free, which means now he is able to cross that line. So that release word is the same as it is for place. The big difference is that wait only needs released if you're going to let him cross the line. So in that first example, I went up the stairs and then I said free so that he could come with me. And that lets him know he can cross the line. You can also practice not letting him cross that line and just rewarding him for staying behind that line like you saw me do just now. With the front door, this is one of those times we're going to actually probably not release very often, right? Unless he is leashed to go outside. So you will cue him wait, walk out the door, pick up your package, do whatever it was you needed to do, and then come back in, shut the door, and reward him. So we're going to reward him for staying, but we are not going to use that release word because we're not letting him cross that line we drew. This is a great one to practice anytime you're going out the door without him, anytime there's a package at the front door. Just build that training and practice of wait into daily life. And much like place, if you continuously practice this around areas like the front door, what you will start to see is a dog that automatically hesitates when the front door is open because they are anticipating you saying wait, because we have built in routine into the same context. And just to challenge Fritz a little bit here on his last days, we practiced doing wait and having me even walk away from that open door to see if he would continue to wait and not cross that line, which of course he did because he's amazing. And then if you're going to take him out for a walk, you can cue
Free.
wait.
Good boy.
And then free
Fritz,
when
wait.
you're ready to release him through the door. Free.
Good boy. Nice job.
Leave it means back
it.
away from the thing you were headed towards.
Leave it.
You can practice this in training
Leave it.
sessions by dropping
Yes,
treats or
good
items and
boy.
practicing leave it. If you do a leave it in
Leave
real
it.
time, you're most likely not going to have treats on you.
Yes,
So what you're going
good
to do is a
boy.
praise party to the treats. As soon as he
Leave
backs
it.
away, you're going to say yes, and then
Yes,
praise him
good
while you two
boy.
run to get him a
Nice
treat.
job.
Drop it means
Drop
let go
it.
of the thing that is in your mouth.
Yes, good boy.
Again, like with leave it, if you do this in real time, just make sure that you're
Fritz,
able
drop
to
it.
do a praise party
Yes,
to the
good
treat so that you can
boy.
reward him
Nice
for doing a
job,
drop it.
buddy.
All right, so I'm out on a walk with Fritz, and we're just going to talk about loose leash walking and what to be working on when you take Fritz out for walks. Yes, he has done so great with this and is a very pleasant dog to walk. The majority of the time, what we're doing, yes, is what we call rewarding good choices. So what that means and what it looks like is when he's walking the way we want to. So he's walking right at our side, or yes, or he's walking a little in front, but he is still on that loose leash, that we're going to mark and reward those good choices. So walking next to us, yes, we're going to mark yes and reward. Again, if he's a little in front, yes, we're still going to mark yes and reward because that's okay. He's still on a loose leash. Good boy. Offering us attention when there's distractions, yes, is another big choice that I love to reward. The other important thing when you're rewarding is how you reward. Yes. And so that's going to look like rewarding with the hand closest to him and dropping it right at your side. This is important for multiple reasons. One is if you're using the opposite hand and kind of crossing over in front of your body, yes, you're going to have a dog that meets you in front instead of at your side. And the whole point is to keep him on the side. So if we reward with the hand closest to him and we drop our hand right at our side, yes, then he is learning that all the good stuff happens right here next to us, which is going to encourage him to stay closer overall. Even if he is in front a little bit and we mark and reward that, we still want to make sure we drop our hand right to our side and make him kind of come back to the treat. We don't want to be reaching forward to reward him, again, because we want all the good stuff happening right at our side. Yes. Right now, we're rewarding 100% of good choices. And then as he gets better, you're going to slowly start to wean those down to 75% of good choices, 50%, 25%, and so on, till you don't need them. You can see he walks for the majority of the walk. He is beautiful at walking on a loose leash, whether he's slightly in front or he's at our side. You can also see him checking in a lot with me. Yes. And while I didn't reward every one of those, we want to make sure we're catching some of that check-in and rewarding that, because that's good stuff. That's what we want him to be doing, is noticing what we're doing, paying attention to us, so that if we start to stop, yes, right, he notices. And he's not just charging ahead, right? We want him to kind of be paying attention enough that he knows what we're doing, especially if there's a distraction present. If he wants to stop and sniff, we want to allow him that time to sniff as long as he's within length of the leash. When we're ready to move on, if he hasn't moved on yet, we can cue him let's go, which just means we're moving again. And what are you doing? Oop, if he starts to cross like this, we're just going to grab that leash, encourage him back to, encourage him back over to the side we went. Yes. And then start rewarding those good choices again. Another cue we use is this way. This way means we're changing directions. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. So you're just going to say it, nice, loud, happy tone, and then move. That's a really important of both this way and let's go, is that you actually move when you say you're moving. Because if you don't move, they're not going to move. Good boy. Well, so that is everything for loose leash walking. If you continue to reward these good choices, you shouldn't have to address any major pulling type issues, because he knows how to walk and not just what we don't want him to do. If you do have a little bit of pulling, if that starts to creep up, as soon as he starts to pull, you can simply just stop, wait for him to acknowledge you again, reward that at your side, and then move on. Good boy, you can sniff if you want. But as of right now, we're not having those pulling issues. He's walking, as you can see, really nicely the entirety of the walk, and just keep rewarding those good choices. If you try to wean off of those good choices and he starts to regress, that tells you we were just weaning off too fast, and kind of backtrack a little bit to rewarding a little bit more often. Good boy, yes. Good boy, Fritz. Good boy. And that's a wrap on Fritz's training.